Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join Maggie and Dave in Christian marriage.
The most I'm looking forward to is just starting a life together with Maggie. I never thought I'd meet someone that I'd fall in love with, and I found that in Maggie. And I just can't wait.
As we begin, Dave would like you all to know he's not crying, it's only raining in his eyes.
I think just having someone always to do life with and full of joy and just wake up to with every day and spend time with.
There we go. There you go. Lots of color.
Dave and Maggie, I want you to take a second and look at those who have come to be here today. They have come to support you, rain or shine, as a symbol of their commitment and love, that they will be here through you when the sun is shining or the rain is falling. Who is it that gives this bride to be married today?
Her dad, Malcolm Rimmer.
So one of my groomsmen and one of Maggie's bridesmaids are best friends, and then they introduced us at the lake, and then it took about 6 months for them to get married, and then at their wedding, I asked for her number, and the rest is history. Took a little coaching, but I got it done.
We met through my roommate Katie and his good friend Ryan, who set us up out on the boat one day, and I thought nothing of it until 6 months later. I didn't know he was too nervous to ask me for 6 months until the wedding, and I had no idea at Katie and Ryan's wedding that he was so nervous, and everyone knew except for me that that's all he wanted to do all weekend was ask me for my number. And it wasn't until 30 seconds before the wedding ended that he finally asked me for my number. And we went on our first date on November 1st, the next week.
Now, Dave and Maggie have 45 minutes of music. I'm just playing. In taking Maggie to be your wedded wife, do you promise to love her, to be considerate and tender in your care for her, and to stand by her faithfully, and to accept full responsibility for her every necessity, so long as you both shall live?
I do.
Because God's serious about that one. Maggie, I want you to realize right now that Dave has pledged to you, and you haven't promised anything in return. I just want you to be able to enjoy this moment. This is the love of Christ for each and every one of us, that He pledges Himself to us. He loves us unconditionally, even when we have nothing to offer in return. Maggie, in taking Dave to be your wedded husband, do you promise to love him, to be considerate and tender in your care for him, to stand by him faithfully, and do you accept full responsibility for his every necessity, so long as you both shall live?
I do.
Hey, where's the thunder?
God's taking you a lot more seriously.
Do you want to say anything about Big Dave or me? Or what we did in Corpus Christi?
No,
You want to know nothing?
I don't know nothing.
What's your favorite thing about Big Dave?
I don't know.
You don't know? That's fine.
I can't stop crying.
Get it all out now.
First date was great. We went to Escalante's and got queso and fajitas, and I gave all the leftovers to Maggie, and it was wonderful. And after that, I knew I was getting a second one.
Our first date, we went to Escalante's, and he had, I showed up at Escalante's, and he had so many presents for me. When I showed up, he had a dog toy for Bear, and he made some ice cream for me. When we were at the rehearsal dinner, we just accidentally sat by each other, and he remembered what flavor ice cream I liked, and so he made me cookie dough cake batter, and we ate it in his Mustang. And I was there I think 5 minutes early, and he was standing there outside of Escalante's early, and we ate the cake batter ice cream in the car before dinner. And then he dumped out all the ice, and we ran to Walgreens to go get ice. And then we went to Escalante's, and we were there for a really long time.
My sweet Maggie, I never thought this day would come. And I have waited longer for you than you have waited for me. It used to make me sad because I always wanted a 30 someone out there here for me. But the Lord knew exactly what I needed. And I just had to wait for Ryan and Katie to help make a little magic happen. It all started with that very first lake trip on Lake Houston, where I got lost in those big, beautiful eyes and that big smile. I don't know what you did to me that day, but you started something in me no one else has been able to do before, and that is to make me fall in love. It was around Christmas time when we were decorating her Christmas tree, and we started dancing in her living room, and then I started to say I love you, and I paused, and she stopped me. I stopped, and then she made me finish it. And at that moment, I knew. She said, "What were you gonna say?" And I was like, "Nothing." She's like, "Finish it." And she started yelling at me, so I finished it. And I knew then, that was it.
To my baby, I can't believe this day is here, and I bet you probably can't either. Our days of dating and engagement have been some of the best of my life, and I can only imagine what the rest of our lives will hold. You make me feel cherished, loved, safe when I'm with you. You always make me feel like the most important person in the room, and I was first drawn to you because of your radiating joy. I have never met someone who is so content with what they have been given, that sees every ordinary day filled with so much excitement. I hope that you never lose this joy, because it is one of the biggest ways I see God use you. I knew he was the one. Someone asked us this 2 months ago, and I'm trying to think of, when he called me to ask me on our first date. So the day after the wedding, he went to work and then called me and asked me on our first date. And we'd actually talked for a while on the phone, and I was seeing someone else that week also that knew after that phone call that David was the one, and I actually called it off with that boy before our first date because I knew.
Dave and Maggie, based upon your pledge of commitment together today, it is my privilege now to pronounce you as husband and wife. My notes are smudged, but I'm pretty sure they're supposed to kiss at this point. You may now kiss the bride. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time anywhere, Mr. and Mrs. Dave and Maggie Clark.
But then last year, Maggie came to me and said, "Dad, I want you to meet someone. He's coming over." Well, I live down here on the island, and I looked out, there's no car, no truck, no nothing. Well, Dave came by boat, by jet ski. And that was the start of our relationship. I've gotten to know him some. It's just been marvelous. He's been out boating, want to go fishing and traveling, and I think that with this marriage now, that Dave and Maggie's opened up a whole new avenue of things for the two of you to do, so that you can be her co-pilot.
David, he did seem to materialize out of nowhere. I got a call from Maggie. She said, "You know about the firefighter? So we're dating now." Oh, and his name is David. And for reference, anyone who's in the market, go date a David. I've been with mine for 9.5 years. They're great. I'm so happy you two have found each other, and I'm just so overjoyed that you two can be together and just have that, whimsical lifetime of, wonderful memories, and I love you both together. So I'd like to raise a glass, and let's cheers to a lifetime of joyous memories to Maggie and Dave.
I remember the first time Dave called to tell me about you. You see my hands are shaking? Yeah. Really read this thing. He was so excited. He was so nervous, like I am right now. He told me that you got a new phone and you wanted to test out the camera. Yeah, you remember that. He was freaking out. He didn't know if testing out the camera was code for something. I assured him that you were definitely flirting and to play it cool. Dave never overthinks, so I told him don't overthink it, because we all know Dave never overthinks. The long story short, he played it cool. At least that's the story we're going to tell, and here we are today.